I found out my college fund went to my little brother. It happened on a Tuesday, right after dinner. Dad called me into the living room like it was some regular chat. He didn't even look up from his tablet when he said it. We've decided to use the fund for Jeremy. He needs the support more right now. That was it. No explanation, no apology, just a flat decision like it was about switching brands of cereal. Jeremy, the golden child, always needed more attention. More space, more patience, now apparently. More of my future too. I looked at my mom, hoping for something, anything. Her eyes were glassy, locked on a corner of the room like she wasn't even there. She didn't speak. I didn't ask questions. What was the point? I just stood up, walked upstairs, packed a bag, and left. No yelling, no dramatic exit, just quiet steps and the sound of the front door closing behind me. The air outside felt different, sharper, cleaner, like for the first time, I could finally breathe. No one stopped me when I left. Not a word from my dad, not a whisper from my mom, just the porch light flicking off behind me like a silent door slam. I slept in my car that first night, 2 backpacks, half a tank of gas, and $32 to my name. No plan, no college, no backup. Just the bitter echo of my dad's voice telling me what Jeremy needed. So I started working. Dish pit at a 24-hour diner, janitor shifts at night, warehouse loading docks on weekends. Anything that paid and didn't ask questions. I barely slept. Maybe 4 hours a night if I was lucky, ate whatever I could afford, lived out of a duffel bag and a gym locker. But I kept showing up because I had to prove something not to them, but to myself, that I wasn't disposable, that I could build something out of nothing, that I mattered. Even if no one at home ever said so, I didn't dream big back then. I just wanted to survive. And every bruise, every sleepless night, every morning spent staring at my reflection in a gas station mirror reminded me I wasn't done yet. The climb was slow. I found a community college offering night classes, paid tuition 1 shift at a time, slept in breaks between work and study, read textbooks under flickering break room lights. At the diner, a regular named Marty noticed I always stayed late. Turned out he ran a small logistics firm, offered me part-time work moving pallets and shadowing dispatch, said I had the look of someone with something to prove. He was right. I soaked up everything, asked questions, watched how deals were made, how people listened. When you spoke with purpose, slowly, I started making connections, built a network from scratch. Meanwhile, Jeremy was on his 3rd college change, new school, new major, same chaos. Dad still bailed him out, still called him gifted. They couldn't see the pattern. How easy things slipped through fingers when they were handed over freely. I wasn't jealous anymore. I was focused. I didn't need handouts. I was building something they couldn't take away, something mine. 3 years later, I had an office, a real one. Glass door, company logo, a team that actually looked to me for answers. The logistics firm I started with Marty's guidance had grown, clients, contracts, even competitors. I built something real. Then my phone buzzed. It was my mother. First time I'd heard her voice since the day I left. She didn't waste time. Your father lost his job, Jeremy's. Made some bad decisions. We're in trouble. We need help. I let the silence stretch. Part of me expected this call. Part of me hoped it would never come. I leaned back in my chair, staring out at the skyline I now paid rent to see. That's tough, I said calmly. Guess the college fund didn't come with financial literacy. She didn't respond. I didn't hang up. I wasn't angry. I was done being angry. I just wasn't the scared kid anymore. I was the one holding the pen now. I'll think about it, I said. But this time, we do things my way. For the first time, I heard fear in her voice. You're really going to let this family fall apart over old grudges, he said, like it was just a spat about chores. I stayed quiet for a beat. Then, no, I'm not holding a grudge. I'm holding the line, he scoffed. So that's it. You're punishing us. I almost laughed. No, Dad, I'm just not the kid you could ignore until you needed something. I'm not hurt. I'm free. That landed. Silence. Then came the bargaining. We're family. Jeremy made mistakes, but he's your brother. Then he can pick up the phone himself. I said, I'm not rescuing ghosts. An hour later, Jeremy texted, Hey man, long time. Can we talk? I replied, You mean the guy who got my future handed to him and burned it down? Sure. Start with an apology. He left me on read. The next day, my parents tried again. Guilt, nostalgia. We were just trying to do what was best. But I learned to recognize manipulation dressed as memory. I ended the call mid-sentence. This wasn't revenge. It was clarity. No call, no warning, Just 3 silhouettes on my security cam, my father, thinner now, my mother wiping her eyes, and Jeremy standing behind them, staring at the ground like he was trying to disappear. I opened the door but didn't step aside. Please, my mother whispered. We didn't know it would come to this. Dad added, we're not asking for much, just some help to get back on our feet. Jeremy didn't speak. He looked like a man who'd finally realized what consequences feel like. I stood in the doorway, remembering the nights I slept in my car, the warehouse floors, the smell of burnt coffee at 3 a.m. While they slept in comfort, I bled for my second chance. You chose who mattered, I said quietly. Now I get to choose too? My father bristled. So that's it? You're not family anymore? I met his gaze. I was never the favorite, just the fallback. Jeremy finally looked up. His eyes were red. I'm sorry, man. I nodded once. I know. Then I closed the door, not with anger, with peace. 3 days later, I got a text from an old neighbor. Hey, just thought you'd want to know your folks packed up. Movers came this morning. House is empty. I stared at the screen for a moment. No rush of anger, no satisfaction either. Just stillness. The house, the one they chose over me, the one they emptied my future for, gone. I stepped out onto my balcony, coffee in hand, and watched the city breathe. The skyline didn't care who I used to be. Out here, no one did. For the first time in years, I felt light. No guilt, no weight, no second guessing. Just the quiet confirmation that I had finally left more than just a house. I had left a role I never chose, the backup plan, the insurance policy, the invisible sun. I wasn't anyone's afterthought anymore. They lost what they clung to. And I had built something they couldn't touch. That wasn't revenge, that was release. Months passed, the business grew. I slept full nights, took weekends off, even started running again. Life had structure, it had peace. Then Jeremy called. His voice was different, quieter, flatter. He said he was working now, living small, no car, no safety net. He apologized, not just for taking what was mine, but for never seeing me until everything fell apart. I told him I was glad he was trying, but I didn't offer money. I didn't offer rescue, because I finally understood he's not my burden. We shared a last name, a childhood, even a dream once, but none of that makes him my responsibility now. Sometimes blood ties fray, not from hatred, but from choices, and sometimes family ends not in courtrooms or funerals, but in the quiet moment when you realize you don't owe them anything anymore. I wished him well, then I hung up. Respect isn't written in DNA, it's earned choice by choice, action by action. And I finally stopped chasing mine from people who never knew how to give it.